Hello and welcome to The Print. It's results day and counting day in Delhi, and we're back with another live. For this episode, for this show, we have with us political analyst and expert Professor Chandrachur Singh and our in-house expert, our political editor DK Singh, and we'll be answering all of your questions as well. So do keep sending them to us on the live chat. For starters, Professor Singh, what we're seeing right now is BJP taking a lead in over 40 seats. That's what early trends are showing. Is this something that you expected? Is this something that you saw coming?
Yes, Apoorva, I thought that the BJP would have a edge here. 2 days back, after the poll, I had an understanding that it's not a kind of a wave election. I thought that AAP will put up a good fight. However, it was very also dependent on the fact that Congress would be cutting in the votes of the Aam Aadmi Party, and which is what I see happening. I mean, these are the cuts in the votes are not in massive thousands, not in tens of thousands, but yes, between 1,000 to 2,000, if that's the average that the Congress is cutting. And despite that, the AAP is doing reasonably okay. I mean, so it's not a wave election, but yes, the BJP has an edge. It has an advantage. The narrative that the BJP had set in for the election has definitely clicked with the voters, and the voters are also voting again. I mean, this mandate is something. If it holds, I would think that it's against Kejriwal's and Delhi's, his famous Delhi, or now the infamous Delhi model of governance. So I think the BJP is well ahead, and well comfortably placed to form the next government.
Professor Singh, you mentioned that the narrative that the BJP set out seemed to have clicked with the Delhi voter. Could you tell us a little bit more about this narrative and what you think seems to have worked for the BJP?
Okay, so to start with, before we get into what the BJP has done, let's look into what Kejriwal's model was. And Kejriwal's model was about freebies, free bijli, free pani. His narrative of empowering the common man, his narrative of strengthening and ensuring some kind of a basic income to the poor. So that was one. And then on the other side, the middle class, he was trying to woo the middle class, or he's trying to attract the middle class by taking a high moral ground in politics. So if you look at how the Kejriwal's, this entire, the entire game that Kejriwal had, or the entire plan that Kejriwal had, was based on these two. So allow the freebies, get into populism, get into the lower classes, because remember Delhi has kind of a mix of a lower middle class, and the lower class, right? Now, the middle class is the one which supported the Anna movement and which was seen in large numbers in the Anna movement. And there, Kejriwal was promising a kind of a very morally oriented framework of politics, which he thought was a clean politics, right? Now, over the years, that has been eroded. Now, look at the BJP. So, what the BJP has done is very clearly brought in the middle class with a kind of a budget that you saw. And to the poor people, it has continued to say that, look, this is what we will also give you, will in fact give you more. So the BJP combines in itself both the narratives that it has set for the nation. That's the Modi's model of governance, where you have strong pitch of nationalism, strong pitch of developmentalism, strong pitch of, and remember Modi's credibility in terms of there's no single charge of any corruption against him, right? So I think at the end of the day, it is Modi's credibility, both as a person, as a leader, as a leader who's capable and who's trusted by the people at large, combined with his sops for the people, is the promises that he has made to the people. So I think in all, they all come together to give the kind of mandate that you are seeing now.
Right. So all of these factors seem to have come together to create that perfect storm, which is now leading to maybe this lead that we are seeing in the early trends. Coming to you, DK, if you could talk a little bit about, of course, Professor Singh touched upon the sort of benefits and the welfare schemes that BJP seems to have offered. If you could talk a little bit about this strategy over the years, because we've seen BJP talk about or look down on this politics of rave me, but this election in Delhi seemed to be a lot about freebies from all the parties. So if you could talk a little bit about that.
See, for the voters, as we know, they are very transactional now. So when you talk about freebies, it's like which party is going to offer more. So let's be very clear about it. Even in this case, Kejriwal, of course, when we talk about freebies are like you can call them antibiotic. So after after an interval, after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you have to keep injecting more and more, or if you change it, or you have to change it. This is what Kejriwal could not deliver. You remember
Right.
the Delhi cabinet cleared the proposal to give 1,000 rupees per month to women, but they could not deliver. So even when Kejriwal or the Aam Aadmi Party, they were going around registering voters for the 2,100 rupees shop, which they promised, it was not convincing because somehow the BJP was able to convey that message. And you have seen many posters in Delhi saying that, look, in Punjab, Bhagwant Mann government could not deliver the money that that are promised to women. Here also, RTC first the cabinet clears 1,000 rupees they could not give. So how are they going to give it to you? On the other hand, look at how we have delivered. We delivered in Maharashtra, we delivered in Haryana. So that model the BJP sold that we can deliver, the AAP cannot. And as I said, freebies are like antibiotic. AAP could not change it, AAP could not inject more. And that's why it didn't really work.
Of
I
course, those are
think
the first
just to use
samples.
that metaphor, it's not just about the antibiotic, but also the person who is administering it. So what you see is that
Right.
Kejriwal administering that antibiotic is no longer accepted by people because people think that he is not the right person to administer it. Now, in relative terms, when Modi promises the same, naturally people will have more attraction for the promise that the Prime Minister makes than the promises that Kejriwal has made, given the kind of things that he has gone. So, given the kind of things that have happened to Kejriwal, going to jail, coming out of the jail, allegations by his own party member from Rajya Sabha, Swati Maliwal. So, kind of a person who is dented from all sides. Now, that person trying to inject the antibiotic compared to a person who stands tall in Indian politics. The critics may say whatever they have to say, but the fact of the matter is Modi continues to stand tall, and that is where the difference is. And it very clearly shows the momentum that you saw in Haryana, you saw in Maharashtra, Jharkhand was an exception, but that's because of some very ethnic identity politics, which means that the 2024 was an aberration, and that the heart of the heartland is something which now has given its approval to Modi's charisma, developmentalism, nationalism, personal credibility, everything.
Right. We already have viewer questions coming in. So I'm going to take one of them. Aditya, who's our member, YouTube member, he's asking, what is the future of Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi? And do you think after this Delhi election, parties like AAP won't like to join any India alliance and maybe they will focus on forming a third front minus Congress?
Is this to me?
Yeah.
Any of you can take it. Yeah. Professor
Yes,
Singh.
please.
Mhm.
Well, it's very difficult to write any obituary of any political party, so I'll refrain from that. But yes, Aam Aadmi has to do a lot of introspection because remember, it is supposedly a national party. Theoretically, it has a government in Punjab, but with the kind of the electoral verdict that has happened, because remember, it is from Delhi that it went to other parts. Now, if it is gone in Delhi itself, then that legitimacy, perhaps the moral legitimacy of its leadership and its high stake leadership will get into question. Now, how does the Aam Aadmi Party navigate it in Punjab will be a big issue because the Congress will be trying to somehow the Congress will see this as a very positive way for itself, because remember Delhi has a fixed vote percentage for the BJP. Now this time it may have got a bit more, but generally the BJP is around 35-40% maximum, right? So which means that there is a large chunk of the Congress voter and the Aam Aadmi voter, which is an overlapping chunk. So the Congress is very happy to just to get something out of it, something back from it, and which means that if the Congress is able to have say 30-35% in the next 5 years, then it's there in position to drive a campaign against the BJP. maybe in 2020, 29 or 28, 29, right? So, and the BJP and the Congress will also try and do this in Punjab as well. So I think the Aam Aadmi Party has a lot of dark days ahead, as far as I see it. How does it cope with it? How does it survive? Remember, the metal comes only when you are, in trouble. So this will test Kejriwal's metal, because Kejriwal all along has been in power. So from the social movement, he's consistently been in power. Out of power, how does he deal with that stress? How does he deal? Because remember, the BJP is also going to come very hard. The Congress is going to come very hard on him as well. How does he survive? Will, the next few days, few months will tell us. But difficult to write an obituary. However, to me, it seems that the Congress will take up that void which is being created as of now.
Right. So we've seen what these elections may mean for the Aam Aadmi Party generally, and for Punjab politics. DK, turning to you now, what do you think? What, according to you, would this election mean for national politics generally?
No, let's see how Congress goes about things from here. As far as India bloc is concerned, I don't really see the India bloc existing. And of course, we saw Omar Abdullah's tweet a while back, basically saying, or a lot of, or Bato, something like that, that you
All lado aapas mein.
you'll split. But if you look at the results in Delhi, that has not really worked, except a few seats, say New Delhi seat, where Sandeep Dixit so far seems to be damaging Arvind Kejriwal, even if he's getting just about 2,500 votes. On other seats, Congress has not really made any impact whatsoever. Look at Mustafabad, look at Okhla, the Muslim majority areas where you actually expected a Congress to make that dent. It has not happened. So for Congress, the biggest advantage now would be to basically, wait for the Aam Aadmi Party to crumble completely. Don't forget, what is there for the Aam Aadmi voters or workers as a glue? There's no ideological glue. They started as anti-corruption crusaders. That entire image is demolished. So the existential crisis that the AAP is facing today is, what does it stand for from now onwards? As long as you are a party in power, that power becomes glue for people to come around you. Once you are out of that, what do you stand for? And how are you different from other parties? That is a big question, and that is where the Congress has the opportunity to gain. So for the Congress, you have to see whether Congress again tries to go back to the India bloc, or Congress starts doing it in different states from here going to West Bengal. Don't forget, you have many elections in early 2026, and Congress will be looking at that. You have Bihar election in October, November. Of course, we have seen that Congress is willing to go with Tejaswi Yadav there, because Congress does not see anything for itself on its own in Bihar. But going forward, the Congress strategy will be very interesting to watch, because Congress, of course, would like to get that space back from regional parties like AAP. Don't forget, you may see the BJP as the main challenger of the Congress, but for the Congress's decimation, BJP is not responsible. It's the other India bloc partners in every state. And if the Congress has to revive, it has to happen at the cost of those India bloc partners, not the BJP. That's how they started like this in Delhi. Let's see whether it's a one-off experiment, or the Congress is going to different states doing the same thing. For the BJP, yes, it's a big boost, although I may have a bit of a difference over whether you can call it a verdict on Prime Minister Modi, because don't forget, Haryana and Maharashtra, PM Modi was not the face. Actually, BJP kind of hedged him in a way. In Haryana, he just addressed 4 rallies. In Maharashtra, again, he was not the face. So whether it's the verdict on freebies or PM Modi, in Delhi, of course, he became the face. But Delhi election result is more about the demolition of brand Kejriwal, which the BJP did. So BJP's formidable election machinery really worked here. So more than PM Modi, it's a verdict against Kejriwal.
We have a related question coming up.
Yeah. Let me add something here. See,
Sure.
I think the template of politics that the BJP is doing, particularly when it comes to assembly election, is a bit different, and we need to look into it now. So what you saw was earlier that the Prime Minister would lead it from the front, from the first day itself, leading up to the last day. Now that I don't see is happening any longer. What happens is that he has a set of leaders in the state. In certain states where he sees that somebody is up front, he may tacitly or he may somehow symbolically project that person. But otherwise, generally, a group of people collectively are promoted, and then comes the prime minister's guarantee. So what you see is then the prime minister slowly comes into the race in the final lap of the election. That's where you see the big billboards. That's where you see the major advertisement campaigns in the newspapers and say, look, my people have already spoken with you. Now I come to you and I say, well, what they've spoken is correct, and I am guaranteeing what they have spoken. So what happens? It's a kind of a double layering and then double conviction that the BJP does with the people, and I think that starts resonating more. So that is why when you see these elections, when they start, remember the party, the opposition or the non-BJP parties seems to be having an edge. But slowly and gradually, and then the BJP brings its own electoral mechanism. In Delhi, for example, thousands of people from RSS were working overtime. You had big leaders, Lok Sabha members campaigning into constituencies. What was very interesting for me is that I saw a lot of regional, local leaders from different regions also camping in different hotels in Delhi. So what the BJP does is it empowers its local grassroots leaders and says, look, they have that kind of a aspiration that hum wahan gaye the chunav mein. So they travel and they live together, and there's this kind of a bonhomie that is created. So I think people do not understand this part of the BJP. It is a very strong electoral mechanism. It is a strong electoral machine. It's very disciplined. It's very well oiled, and it allows people to have their own spaces. That it gives the members the identity that they want, and then all done. Then comes the prime minister who's spoken, whose word is the last word. I think that is the template which you'll see. That at least I see this way the election, at least in the last 3, 4, 5 elections that I've seen at the state levels.
Right. We also have questions coming in on the role that Congress may have played in creating this perfect storm, so to say, that we've been talking about. This person's username is Manji. Is asking, vote cutting is something we can quantify. Do you think Congress anti-AAP campaign shifted votes from AAP to BJP instead of AAP to Congress?
Is it to be to DK?
Yes. You can take it.
Well, so look at it. I mean, the Aam Aadmi Party was a partner of the Congress Party in the Lok Sabha elections just a few months back, and the same Congress Party then starts attacking Kejriwal. The BJP will only have the last laugh, because if your own partner is saying that you are morally corrupt and you are as bad as, let's say, the other is, then it cuts ice with the people, right? So there was no camaraderie there, right? And that's basically because the Congress feels that the Aam Aadmi Party was just a bluff, and that perhaps that bluff has been now called off, and now that the people will realize this, and therefore all the supposedly the Congress's own understanding of secular votes and so-called anti-BJP vote will come to it. So that is why the Congress did what it did. So it's not that the Congress was winning. I mean, see, the Congress has the will, but not the competence to win the elections, right? So that's why the Congress is doing what it is doing. So it definitely has the will to replace the BJP. It hopes to replace the BJP. Doesn't have the competence, doesn't have the required infrastructure, doesn't have the required resources, doesn't have the required credible faces which can cut ice with the people, right? So that's where the Congress is going down. It did pick up for a while. It picked up riding on the piggybacking on some regional leaders in Uttar Pradesh. It did so in some other parts. But remember, it's trying to do the something which is the most impossible thing. It's riding with the regional parties, and the regional parties are the ones which have taken away its vote share. So it wants to ride along with them and then get its own vote back. I think I'll find it a bit difficult if that were to happen.
No, Apoorva, problem is Congress, you cannot just start showing up during election time and next 5 years sleep. In Delhi, for the last 10 years, Congress has been sleeping. And suddenly you start contesting election, start taking on the AAP, and you expect the people to support you. That does not happen. And you are talking about who created the perfect storm. And the fact is, Congress did not really play much role in it. Look at the BJP strategy. For the last 2 years at least, BJP has been at it consistently and very systematically, right since the arrest of Manish Sisodia in January, February 2022, 23. After that, leaders were getting arrested. And the BJP, the way it went about demolishing every single thing that made Kejriwal a brand, his honesty, of course, the so-called anti-corruption crusader, his ministers, he himself, they were all arrested in liquor scam. And the BJP made a big deal out of it. His governance model. Now, you may blame the center for, not allowing the elected government to work, and there could be a partial truth in it, because if the bureaucracy is not allowed to, or if the bureaucracy is reporting to the center, not to the elected government, you know how difficult it becomes for the elected government to deliver. That may be the reason, but people don't look at it that way. People see what you have delivered on the ground. So you are fighting with the center, you are blaming the center for everything, you say you are being victimized, but that is not their concern. They want to see what is there on the platter. They're on the platter for them, and there we see the BJP delivering. So this perfect storm, the creation of it started way back, 2 years back, and the BJP has been at it. I don't really see the Congress making much contribution to it.
And I tell you, Kejriwal has got his own pill. Remember Kejriwal's style, that he would come on the stage, accuse so many people and go away. Now, that's what the BJP did. So he now kept accusing, and it's like Sher Aya, oh Bhediya Aya, and then when the Sher Aya, he's gone. So the problem with Kejriwal is that he keeps accusing people. He kept accusing people, and so when he started accusing the LG much in the same way, I don't think people have taken that seriously.
Look at this. The irony is, in 2012, when he launched the party, the list of leaders who he accused of being corrupt also included Mulayam Singh Yadav. And today, you have Mulayam Singh Yadav's son campaigning for you. And then you go about giving apology letters to everybody who went for defamation suit against you, because you
Lalu Yadav.
Allegations.
Look at his stand on Lalu Yadav. And look at his friendship with Lalu Yadav now.
Yeah.
Right. Our viewers have already started looking at the future behavior that they can expect out of AAP. Now, one of the viewers is asking, do you think will AAP rethink their policy of freebies and might come up with a new model of governance now?
Well, they should. That's ideally expected. But what kind of a model would be when the entire nation is into a template of a freebie politics that was started by none other than Kejriwal himself? So,
right.
This is a bad thing. I mean, it's like something you induce people to, and then you fall victim to it, and then you start crying. I mean, well, he should think of his governance. Only if he had thought about governance, he wouldn't have been in the position that he is in now. Look at...
Sorry, please go ahead.
No, carry on.
No, what I'm saying is, where is the opportunity for him to come up with a new governance model? I mean, you have shown it in Delhi. That's freebie-based model. Now you have another opportunity in Punjab, but Punjab does not have. What have you seen happening in Punjab? I mean, it's Bhagwant Mann government has been kind of hobbling all over the place. What has the government delivered? And even if Kejriwal wants to, he does not have that fiscal space in Punjab to do anything. What has Bhagwant Mann government done to, say, bring investors? I mean, last 2 years of narrative, since 22, when the AAP came to power in Punjab, what has been the narrative? We have been hearing the same stories about drugs. We are today, again, hearing the same story about people trying to go abroad through donkey route, and now they are coming back. What's the positive thing coming out from Punjab? And another problem that AAP is going to have in Punjab is, it's quite possible, like when you have implosions happening in Delhi AAP, which will start, I mean, sooner than later it will start. AAP will start imploding. As I said, there is nothing to hold them together. And Kejriwal was all about himself, his own personality cult. He did not really promote any alternative leadership at any level. So now in Punjab, Bhagwant Mann says tomorrow, say just stay away. You remember Raghav Chaddha was sent to Punjab, and he was like sent as the Delhi's man who would be heading one advisory council, and he was supposed to be running the government there. He was just pushed away by Bhagwant Mann. That was even when Kejriwal was very much around. Now that Kejriwal is down and out, is Bhagwant Mann going to allow him and the central leadership to take over and try to show any alternative form of governance? I'll really be surprised.
No, no,
Uh,
that's that. The moment has gone.
in
You
fact,
know,
one of our continue, Professor Singh.
if you look back to Kejriwal, he starts off in Delhi, and the next thing that people will question all this for as long as there's nothing sweeter than success and there's nothing bad than victory. I mean defeat. I mean, people will ask him that what were you doing in Varanasi? You were given the mandate, a massive mandate to govern Delhi. Take it from me, you go and meet any person in on the streets of Delhi from any class, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Parsi, rich, poor. You you know, people are suffering. The fact of the matter is that people are suffering. People may yet have voted. Some people, at least 25 constituencies is winning. So people may have voted for him. But even when people voted for him, they did not vote it because they were convinced that he is the leader that they're voting for. There were other reasons. There were many other reasons. There were many other factors which allow people to vote for somebody or not vote for somebody else. But look at the kind of support he had in 2015. It went down in 2020, and yet it was there, right? That is erosion. Given the fact that he's falling from a very high pedestal, he would still have something to retain with. But any person, I mean, you talk to any person having any conscience, he'll say that no, he's not done what he had promised.
Look at that. You remember in 2013, 14, when he decided to push the Congress away from the alliance. That was over Jan Lokpal bill. What happened to that bill? Have you heard Kejriwal even talking about it after that? So people can see through all this.
Right. We have questions coming in on the future of Delhi and what it'll look like as well. Aditya, who's a member, is asking what according to you, or who according to you is the best candidate from BJP's side to become the Delhi Chief Minister, Parvesh Verma or Ramesh Biduri? Do we have a chief ministerial candidate face here?
See, who will be the chief minister? Only and only the prime minister knows, right? Or maybe the home minister would have some idea, and that they will come together and they will decide about it. Whosoever is the chief minister, I don't think it will really matter. The verdict, as I said, is a verdict for the party, and the party leadership will perhaps take a call. If you ask the BJP leaders, this is what they would also tell you. It's not important who will become the leader or who will become the chief minister, as you've seen. Generally, this is how the BJP's template politics is. I rather would see somebody, you'll be surprised to see the person as the chief minister going by what we've seen in the past.
DK, would you like to add anything to that?
No, absolutely. As a journalist, I'm waiting for another surprise.
Okay, on that note, I think we will close this episode and this live. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Singh and DK. And for all our viewers, like I told you this morning, we'll be keeping a close eye on these elections. We have a live blog running on our website, and we'll keep joining you with instant analysis, and we'll bring in many experts to give you an analysis and their opinions on Delhi elections. So do keep an eye out, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Sorry if there was a sound coming in, but I'm sitting in a TV office, and you can understand how it happens here. But let's see how it goes. The BJP had been eyeing for this for so long. The jinx is now broken. Let's see how they fix the problems of Delhi. It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, Delhi has its own huge problem of governance. So let's see how it does, because it's not just about Delhi. It's also about Noida. It's also about Gurgaon. It's also about Faridabad. The NCR is something that any model of good governance in the national capital would require to take all that angles into consideration. It's not easy, but let's hope that something happens.